What's good, y'all? We got who's the GOAT of 2K YouTube. Hey man, we on the road to 100K, okay? If you don't hit that like button, subscribe button, and turn on all notifications, slap the dog shit about yourself, because that's the first thing you should have did when you clicked on this video. Now, bro, I have not played 2K in 2K23 was the last one I played, but I wasn't even actually able to play it because the game was so bad it crashed my console every time I tried to play my career. So I couldn't play my career. I was stuck to only playing park. I couldn't even play my team. I played one online my team game and my whole console crashed. So I wasn't even able to play 2K23. Before that, I think I played a little bit of 22. I slowly fell out with the game as I got older, you know what I'm saying? But 2K just slowly got worse and worse. It ain't like I wouldn't have played it. The game was just trash though. You know, I did have to focus on the bag. But the game just been trash, man. All games have been trash, you know. But we got who's the GOAT? Who y'all think the GOAT is? I don't know. I don't think you could really put just anyone at the top of anything. You know what I'm saying? Because there's a lot of great people. You know what I'm saying? Just like music, there's no best artist of all time. There's a lot of legendary people, bro. You know what I'm saying? Everybody is legendary. But yeah, let's see.
So recently, there's been some tweets circulating around Twitter made by a popular YouTuber in the basketball community that goes by the name of Legend of Winning, or Low for short. And in these tweets, he said that creators like Agent 00, Jesser, and Aiden Ross are the only names that should be associated with the greatest creators from the
Nigga,
2K.
Aiden Ross? Nah, I don't know about that. I don't know though. I don't know. I didn't watch Aiden. Never heard of him until he started doing all that foo-foo shit on stream.
Community. Now, this in itself was already a
Flight.
crazy take.
Flight didn't come from 2K originally. He came from Flight came from y'all know NBA Live.
Because we have a lot of great content creators from the 2K community.
I remember watching Flight back in the day, bro. I remember Flight is one of the reasons why I even started doing reactions, bro. Flight is the reason why I started doing reactions, nigga. Flight, Cash, Soluminati, Oprah Side, nigga. I seen them niggas running it up. I'm like, yo, I'm finna do that. You know what I'm saying?
All over the internet. Me. I mean, we have creators like I Show Speed, Flight.
But I remember watching that nigga Flight NBA Live videos. I remember he had like went to 2K and or not. He had went to like GameStop. Like he did like Flight was real creative back then, bro. The old Flight is legendary,
community
bro.
All over the internet. I mean, we have creators like I Show Speed, Flight Reacts, Soluminati, Cash Nasty, and many more. But these tweets
I remember watching Davis, bro. That nigga Davis used to grind. He used to be a streamer on YouTube, bro. I remember watching Davis, bro.
Begin to spread over Twitter like wildfire.
I wouldn't say Davis is like one of the GOATs though, but that nigga was really grinding this shit. He started doing the pranks. I remember watching Davis come up.
Speed, Flight Reacts, Soluminati, Cash Nasty, and many more. But these tweets will begin to spread over Twitter like wildfire, and many fans on the internet believe that the title of the greatest 2K content creator belonged to the one and only Chris Smooth. And while Low would end up giving Chris Smooth some credit in his follow-up tweet, calling him, quote, the most impactful 2K creator, he would still stand firm on his belief that Chris Smooth doesn't create better content than creators
Chris Smooth,
like Jesser or Agent 00, which ended up sparking so much debate online that even Chris
Smooth is like the PG, you know, the rated G.
Smooth himself would reply to it in a tweet saying that
Chris Smooth is definitely
simply had to make this tweet for Twitter views and a paycheck. And this is a rather shocking Low simply had to make this tweet for Twitter views and a paycheck. And this is a rather shocking response because Chris Smooth is one of those people that usually don't really say too much or doesn't get involved in any type of like debates or anything, especially when it's involving him or his likeness. So that's how you know that this is something that's
I remember watching Dom 2K. I watched his voiceovers, nothing about no 2K though.
Right now.
I don't think.
But while I agree that this conversation does extend further than Agent 00, Aiden Ross, and Jesser, I do believe that there's a lot of misinterpretation involving the tweet that Low had put out originally. So let's dive a bit deeper and try to make some more sense of this entire debate. But first, if you're new to the channel,
that nigga Chris Smooth did have the whole like my career shit. You know, he just stayed true to my career. He didn't go to Park, you know.
Don't forget to hit that subscribe button to join the Trap House with the biggest
I
trapper.
started
And while
watching
you're at it, don't forget to
2K
click that very
videos like
first link down below in my
2K16.
description to join my Discord server and become an official member of the
Yeah.
community.
Meet Agreement Gene.
Because I remember I wanted a PS4 so bad, bro.
Now, with all of that being said, let's get into the 2K GOAT debate. Okay, so to start, if you're unfamiliar with Chris Smoove, then you probably shouldn't be watching this video, but he's been popular on the internet for years now, and he's practically the godfather of the 2K community. He started his career on YouTube playing games like NBA Live and NBA 2K9 over 17 years ago, all the way back on February 14, 2008, which is probably longer than some of you have even been alive. Chris Smoove was one of, if not the first person to begin posting these basketball gaming videos on YouTube. And over 12,000 videos later, he would end up inspiring an entire community of YouTubers who would end up following in his footsteps. Many content creators that we know and love on YouTube today got their start on YouTube by being motivated by Chris Smoove, or maybe they was motivated by someone else who was ultimately motivated by Chris Smoove as well.
And at that time, that's like the OG YouTube.
What year is this?
Bro, this is like 2009, 2010. I went on Google first and I was like, okay, how to do this in a certain part of this game. So I ended up clicking on the second link, and then basically like it was Chris Smoove.
Oh.
And Chris Smoove at that time,
Absolute splash.
yeah. All that, like I dove into like the straight up.
Yeah, I wouldn't watch it. I wouldn't watch a 2K until 2K16. You know,
Direct Prime, Chris Smoove, everything.
Because Chris Smoove, I remember watching him because I did start watching his videos for a little bit.
Yeah.
He was playing Black Ops 2. But he only played Black Ops 2 for like 3 months, and then he immediately switched to 2K, and that's when I stopped watching him because I didn't really know about 2K at all.
So yeah, and I went and found his channel, and bro, I fell into a rabbit hole. I looked and I'm just like, bro, this dude is doing stupid numbers. Like he's like the only dude that was at that time doing like 2K content and being straight consistent with it.
Yep.
And then shit, I think probably like a couple months later.
so saying, bro, if you ever see something like that, bro, take advantage, man. It's opportunity, bro.
Like, yo, does this dude do this like as a living? Because he's uploading like it's 7 days a week. He's uploading 5-6 days a week.
Yep.
He's not missing a day. So I'm like, in my head, bro, this dude can't just be doing this for free. I know he has to be doing it for a wage. So fast forward on to my 10th grade year. That's that same year he ended up dropping his mansion tour.
Ooh.
7-10 bedrooms. I'm like, oh yeah, nah.
You saying Chris Smoove been doing all
this is
that?
what I want to do as a career.
I mean, the
He dropped the
content
mansion
that he
tour,
produced, the storylines he created, the way the videos was edited, some of the catchphrases and sayings that he always used to say became super influential, and this all directly led to his success. And this without a doubt,
Yeah,
that
man, you
without
can't
him,
sleep
we
on
wouldn't
Chris
have
Smoove.
anywhere near the community that we have today.
And you weren't making videos at this time.
No, I wasn't making them, dog. I was always and Chris Smoove, shout out to Chris Smoove.
Yep, he was playing. We talked about him on a couple pods. He's, he
All the
early days,
OGs
bro.
say Chris
Yeah,
Smoove, bro.
Early days too.
Legend. And
If you ask me, since I was like starting to watch like 2K16 from that point on, bro, I would say like, man, who would I put? I'd definitely say So Illuminati. You know, that's probably like Cash even. Yeah, Cash, Agent. You know, I can't put Flight in there, bro. Cause Flight just really came around with the 2K, like after 2K18, bro. He wasn't around 16 for real. 15, Flight wasn't around like that, I don't think. Maybe he was, I don't know. Maybe I just wasn't watching him. But that's around that time was whenever I first even really started getting into YouTube for real. I already knew what YouTube was and been watching it, been on it. But this is whenever I started really watching it. You know, is when all these niggas came out, bro.
saying, you know what, I'm just gonna do gameplay.
Okay.
Because I'm watching Chris Smoove on my breaks and lunch breaks and all this right here, you know. So I end up just uploading that, doing like voiceover. And people liked it, man. The people just kept on subscribing, you know.
And I don't think there's been a creator that's been anywhere near as impactful for the community, other than like maybe So Illuminati. I think if you want to get the title of most impactful to anyone besides Chris Smoove, then it would definitely be him.
I'll say in my lane, I'll say
Pretty Boy Fredo, bro. Yeah, Pretty Boy Fredo. That's one of the niggas I'm forgetting. Pretty Boy Fredo, bro. 2016, Nigga, 2K15, even 2K15. Did I just say that? 16, 15, 17, nigga. That Fredo was one of them. You know,
So Illuminati.
if you talk about So Illuminati, you gotta have Fredo in there, bro. It's like Chris Smooth, Fredo, So Illuminati. You talk about most impactful though. That nigga had the whole SSH going crazy, boy. That nigga Fredo was going crazy. Agent even, you know, but man, you talk about had the parks jumping though. Fredo, that nigga Fredo, So Illuminati, bro.
So
And it's Illuminati. Why?
a lot of like his like terminology and lingo is still used to today. Like that's tough. Everybody said it, but he was the one who like made it like. I feel like he just really slept on as far as like the internet being how it is and why it is today.
But to revisit the tweet that Low had made, I think a lot of people had mistook his statement because he's referring to the level of content that these creators produce.
Does not create content better than Jesser or Agent. Why? Come on, man. You ain't gotta say that. He Chris Smooth still makes 2K videos and NBA videos, bro. He's not doing that type of content. It's not even up for debate, bro. It's not the same.
Now, I do personally think it's a bit unfair to compare the career of
Yeah,
Chris
it's not
Smooth to
fair.
like other creators we see today, because all Chris Smooth is really known for is like his gaming videos.
That's all he
specifically
does.
2K and basketball game videos. And while he's been putting together all of these great videos for the past 17 years,
if you get stuck on the
Chris
melody,
Smooth
or if
doesn't-
you just feel
doesn't
like you
do
can't get a song started,
IRLs and all
Output's
that.
co-producer.
It's hard-
Agent makes good content. Cash makes good content. You know?
to compare that to the level of content these creators are producing nowadays, because they're completely expanding the space. So of course putting this tweet out and making the comparison in general would spark a lot of backlash for Low. As I said in the intro, this even triggered a response from Chris Smooth himself. Low would end up putting a reply tweet back out after Chris Smooth responded, and he would compare this whole situation to his lane of content, which is in real life basketball. Low's tweet read, "People will agree with this, but then turn around and claim that Bill Russell and Wilt Chamberlain aren't in the top 10.
They're not. They're
saying that
ass.
someone doesn't
They're not touching today's people,
create
bro.
better content than Jezzer or Agent isn't a diss." And I agree, saying someone doesn't create as good as content as two of the top content creators in the game isn't a diss or a knock to anyone at all. It's really just being
Agent completely left that channel where he was making all them videos, speaking all shit. Like he's just streaming now, you know? It's crazy.
real. But basically in this tweet, Low was saying that in the same way people discredit the careers of two basketball legends because they played in the weakest, oldest era of basketball, that's essentially the same reference he was making to the Chris Smooth situation.
Oh, no, that
He's
nigga
comparing
hooping,
a
though.
great creator who was basically here before everybody else to the creators of today who's producing crazy high level content in a completely different era.
Yeah.
In the original tweet, Low claimed that Agent was the greatest 2K YouTuber of all time, and while Agent did spend a large portion of his career being solely dedicated to creating content involving 2K, he's managed to branch out and do multiple things since. He's done podcasts, which Low was a co-host on, so maybe there is a bit of a bias there.
Oh, there's
but
definitely
he's
a bias.
also a part of one of the biggest content orgs of all time, such as AMP, if not the biggest content group. If you want to give it to them like over to Simon or anything, I'm not going to argue with you. But even recently, Agent has began taking streaming a lot more serious now, and he's been completely dominating that space as well, creating various
Nigga been
forms
going
of
crazy.
content that's been doing very well. And then of course there's Jesser, who Low also mentioned. Now Jesser also played 2K for a large portion of his career, mostly in the beginning, and he grew pretty quickly and very early on into his career. And then he branched out heavily into more in real life basketball content, which skyrocketed his career, gaining him over 30 million subscribers, which I believe makes him the biggest basketball content creator on all of YouTube. I know he's even been included within
That's crazy. I never really
like
even
the
watched him
NBA
like
All-Star
that.
Celebrity Game. So I think it's safe to say that Jesser has definitely made a name for
I
himself
always knew
within
who
the
he was, but I
basketball
never
and
really
2K
watched him.
community. And then there's the last name that Low said he would entertain, which is Aiden Ross. Now this is probably the most controversial one because Aiden in general is just a controversial person. But the only thing that's not debatable about Aiden's career is the impact that he's had on the community. Now, Aiden hasn't been around nearly as long as any of the other creators we've mentioned, but he completely revolutionized the entire world of streaming, being the first person to ever really bridge the gap between streaming and multiple other industries. I mean, we've seen Ninja briefly do it, but the way Aiden did it was just something completely new and different that we hadn't really seen before. And because of that alone, I think it makes him pretty valid within the conversation. I personally think that there's multiple people that we can hold in this whole conversation about being the 2K community GOAT. As I said, there's Flight, Cash, Soluminati, Troydan, even like I Show Speed.
Nigga, Troydan is so suspect, bro. He needs to be investigated.
Don't really include Speed because he isn't really known for 2K at all.
That grown ass man, Troydan. He getting the bread, man, but that nigga's crazy.
Him raging on the 1v1 court in the stage on a pure post score is quite literally what started off his career. And then of course, once he blew up, he left the 2K community so fast that many people don't even know he ever played the game.
Yeah,
and now he's the biggest streamer in the entire world, so I feel like it's only right.
I think I remember seeing Speed a couple times play 2K. But he did get off that 2K
he's at
shit
least
quick.
Mentioned in this conversation, whether you know him for 2K or not. I think
that nigga was really grinding that shit too, bro.
Important factor should also just be longevity within the community as well. Because while we have a lot of huge content creators that came from the 2K community, a lot of people took very different paths. There's people who started off their career playing 2K and years later they're still consistently posting 2K content and still doing great, like Troydan. And then there's people who may have blown up from 2K years ago and haven't touched the game since that point. There's even creators who were the biggest YouTubers in the 2K community at one point and have since like ruined their careers or fallen off and things like that. So I think longevity should definitely play a factor.
That nigga Nadex still be streaming like every day on Twitch, on God, 2K. Playing Park, nigga.
But regardless of how you're viewing this,
nigga don't post no YouTube videos though, bro. Y'all Twitch niggas, man, it's been niggas that's been streaming on Twitch for years, my nigga, and have never grown to YouTube, bro. Don't even try. Y'all niggas got, and it's the new age. Y'all see all these clips and y'all still don't do nothing. Like, come on, man.
This entire thing, whether it's based on content, impact, or influence, the one thing that's for certain is that there's multiple creators who have changed the course of the entire 2K community over the years, each in their own ways. And even if you don't consider Chris Smooth to be the greatest, you still have to respect his longevity and originality, because at the end of the day, most of the 2K creators we love may have not even started their careers if Chris Smooth didn't start posting 2K gameplay over 6 years ago. But that's just my personal opinion.
Over 6 years,
the only opinion I really care about is y'all's opinion.
16
so with that
years.
being said, Chris Smooth didn't start posting 2K game. The only opinion I really care about is y'all's opinion. So with that being said, be sure to comment down below.
Yeah, man, y'all let me know what y'all think, man. We're on the road to 100K, okay? If you don't hit that like button, subscribe button, turn on all notifications, slap the dog shit about yourself. Because that's the first thing you should have did when you clicked on this video. I'll get it on the next one, and I'm gone. TYP tonight.